morning and welcome to today's horse racing tip. If you're new to this channel, please do hit that subscribe button below and get notified every single time we post a video Monday to Saturday. Now today's selection comes from SPT Racing, and you can find out more about them at graboffer.today/SPT Racing. You can see that link below, click on that link, find out some more about that particular tipster service. The selection that we've chosen from them today to look at in more detail is in the Taunton 410 race, and the horse is Schnabel, and they are suggesting it as an each way bet today. So I've got here the 410 Taunton race open, and we're going to jump in and have a quick look at what's going on. So the first thing I'm going to look at here is the PR odds, and I'm going to sort by probability. We got these three contenders here, and Schnabel is currently rated as 35% chance to win this race. It's a very high chance. It's the second ranked, so that is looking very, very promising. It's also second favourite when we merge that with the live market odds as well. If I open the VDW scores and sort by that, we'll notice here that Schnabel is also in the top four. Now the top four horses, one of these horses has a 74% chance of winning the race, or has won similar races historically 74% of the time. At least one of these top four scoring horses has placed in similar races 93% of the time. So that is all looking very, very strong there for Schnabel. The next thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to run a Monte Carlo simulation, but while that is happening, we're going to look at the horse's history here. So let's just get that simulation running, and we're going to jump into the horse's history. Now today's race is a chase turf class 4 on good to firm ground over 2 miles 7 furlongs with around £4,500 prize money. Now Schnabel here we got a number of chase races here, and we can see the last three are kind of a lower class. The ground is good on a couple of them, and came second, beaten by 0.75 lengths, and came second, beaten 0.75 lengths there. Now both of those were 3 mile long races, so only a little bit longer than today's race at 2 miles 7 furlongs. So coming down here, we've got this Ludlow race here, chase race 6,000, so slightly higher classes here, beaten 23 lengths. So that's the first one we see a much larger distance beaten by. Coming down, we've got beaten 2.5 lengths, beaten 13 lengths, not so good there, slightly shorter distances. And then we fall into lesser performing races, less good races. But what we've seen straight away is there aren't really any good to firm races here, but on good ground this horse can perform well. It likes the distance, it's happy over chase turf races. The ground shouldn't be too much of an issue. It's one carrying 12 stone 1 pound, so kind of 11, 12 shouldn't be a problem for this horse, that kind of weight. And we'll have a look at the weight it's currently carrying today. So everything there looks pretty strong for that runner. Now the simulation's finished. I'm going to jump back in. First of all, we notice carrying 11 stone today. It's actually set to carry 11.5, but there's a jockey allowance. You can see here I'm hovering over this weight figure. There's a jockey allowance of £5, so it's actually carrying 11. So not too bad. Let's jump back into the results of the simulation, and we can see Schnabel's actually top rated from that Monte Carlo simulation. It won 71.98%, or 72% of its pairings during the simulation, which is very, very high. So that all indicates a great result, strength for this horse, so that's looking nice and strong there as well. In terms of days since last run, it ran a good race 53 days ago, which is great. It's top ranked here for 5278. That's our compiled rating. Also great. Best ever speed rating over race type, coming in third, which is absolutely fine, because on these races of this kind of distance, speed isn't the primary factor anyway. 5 of the last 10 races have been good. I mean, all this is looking really, really strong for this horse. The PFP score sitting at 1505. The base level on this rating is 1500. So we do have a few horses which are higher than it, but again, nothing that's a big threat. So that's all looking good as well. So far everything is looking really, really nice and strong here. If we look at the pace, it's predicted to be fast. So these races are most often won by early pressers and mid-pack horses. Putting up pace here, we can see that actually this horse is likely to be at the front. Prefers to be an early presser type. We can see that in the running style just here. But it's going to be leading possibly with Mrs. Miggins. So the question here is the horse likely to burn itself out before it gets to the end of the race? Now, to answer that question, to see if we can get some insight into that question, let's just open this horse's history again and have a quick look at some of its in-running comments. And we can see here, led narrowly, disputed the lead, led clearly before 3. So, doing quite well, got hampered at the end, which is why it came second. But I'm looking here to see if this horse led until headed out and tracked the leader. So again, it was a leading horse, chased leaders. So then we got an early presser type race running there. I'm just looking at its good races here to see if there's a running style. Second or third until a mistake. Okay, I'm not worried about the mistake, but second or third, say it's in that front pack again. Coming down here to a last good race back here. This is a bit longer ago now. Headway and then led. So it shows here that there is the possibility for this horse to have that kind of pace and be comfortable with being at the front of the pack for the majority of the race over similar distances. So I'm quite happy with that there. All in all, this is looking like a pretty strong horse. Now, if I sort by PROs, I want to have a look quickly at From the Heart, Earth Leader, and also if we sort by the simulation, we'll see that From the Heart is kind of up there and Mrs. Miggins is the other one. So I'm going to highlight Mrs. Miggins. There. So these are the possible contenders at a very, very quick glance without going into it in a lot more detail. These are the possible contenders. Earth Leader hasn't had a good race for 273 days, and if we bring up Earth Leader's history, we can see his last race was beaten by 27 lengths despite being second, 3 miles, 1 furlong, and it could be that the race was just a little bit too long. You can see its good races have been over 2 miles 6 furlongs, 2 mile 5 furlongs, but it did make a mistake at the last, however, was weakening. So possibly a little bit of concern there that the distance may not suit. Mrs. Miggins, sorry, very quickly here. A good race here, 10 lengths, chase race 4,000 over similar distance, carrying 11.10. So not fluent, no, made some mistakes, but stayed on well. So Mrs. Miggins, possible threat, coming in here. Again, only recently been running over this 3 mile distance, so quite new, and was last time out was beaten by 24 or 25 lengths, and that wasn't about a month ago. So a bit of concern, but a possible threat there from Mrs. Miggins. And finally, From the Heart. Just having a quick look now at From the Heart. We got this race here, 3 mile 1 furlong, 2 mile 7 furlongs. So these are quite similar. The 2 mile 7 furlongs won nicely, was carrying 11.12 in that 3 mile race, which is probably just too much, only carrying 11.1 today. So back down at its same weight that it was carrying last time out. So again, this horse could be a bit of a threat. So Earth Leader's not looking possibly like so much of a threat, but Mrs. Miggins, From the Heart are the potential threats. Now, in the last couple of minutes, or the last 60 seconds, I'm going to have a very quick look here at the speed graphs. I'm going to look at chase turf. I'm going to look at good to firm only. I'm going to apply that filter. I haven't put a distance filter in here because I just want to get an overall picture of kind of what's likely to be going on with this horse. Now, Schnabel is up here, so kind of right near the top. Mrs. Miggins, we can see that threat there. So if Schnabel continues this journey of improvement, it's going to be one of the ones to beat here. Mr. Caffrey is kind of dropping off. And the other horse that we were looking at was From the Heart. We can see here, From the Heart has kind of looks to be on a bit of a decline, so not really too much of a threat here. So coming back here, it looks like Schnabel's going to be a strong horse in this race, certainly up in the frame, certainly a good looking like a good selection there from SPT Racing. We can see why it's possibly been selected. Mrs. Miggins looks like a possible threat. This each way bet from SPT Racing's looks to be a good selection. We can see why that decision was made, and there also seems to be, if we look here currently, you can see that this highlighted here is green, potential value in the market as well. So I like this selection from SPT Racing today. I can see the merits behind it and why it's been selected, particularly why it's been selected as an each way bet, just to take some of that risk off. So today's selection from SPT Racing was Schnabel in the 410 at Taunton. You can find out more about SPT Racing in the link below at graboffer.today/SPT Racing. If you're brand new to today's horse racing tip, please do hit the subscribe button button below, and when you've done that, make sure you hit the like and share button as well, and let other people know that you're enjoying what we do here. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you again tomorrow.